Hi, I'm Kiara, and I'm a certified intuitive guide, and I've also called myself a divine warrior in the past, and I help people to listen, to trust, and live in partnership with the divine love and divine knowing inside of them. So we all have this like love and um, wisdom and the intelligence of the entire universe flowing through our bodies. And I am so madly in love with helping people to listen to that force inside of us because I feel like listening to it, trusting it, and truly backing it up in the world is the source of our greatest power and our greatest fulfillment. And I can talk about that in another stage. I could talk about this in general for a very long time. Um, but what I want to talk about today is what is listening to energy. So when I say listening to energy, it's a term that I actually learned from my mentor, Jennifer Miller. And what I say, like what I mean when I say listening to energy, is listening through our body as if the body is the tuning fork that picks up the energy around us, and it picks up the energy of what is happening in other people's bodies, what is happening in the room around us, what is happening in the collective. And it also picks up this really deep, wise, almost, it feels very much to me like what Lao Tzu probably was referring to when he talked about the Tao or the Way. It's this deep wisdom that knows exactly what needs to unfold in every second and every moment in order for the greatest healing and fulfillment and true deep connection to unfold. And so to me, this listening to energy is like literally picking up the phone and having a direct line to the divine inside of us and the divine that is also connected to everyone else, and to this divine plan for collective healing as well. And so, yeah, I feel like each of us has this superpower inside of ourselves, and each of us was born actually doing it. Like, babies absolutely feel the energy of everyone around them and respond to it, but we are so trained out of trusting it. It's not that we don't feel it. I feel like we all do. And what I mean by that, and like a really great example to kind of like let yourself know that you do feel it, is have you ever been sitting at the lights or in a bar and someone is staring at you, and you can tell and you can feel it and you can turn around and notice it? That's like one like very surface level understanding of listening to energy. Or you walk into a room and no one's saying anything, but you know there was just like an argument or like a piece of conflict that went down just before you walked in. That again is listening to energy. So we all feel it inside of ourselves, and some people have increased sensitivity and some people less. But we are so trained not to trust it. And that's because when we were younger, we're feeling all of these things. Like we can feel that this person in our family is sad, or this person is angry, or this person wants to say this thing but they're not saying it, and everyone's like disconnected from their energy field. So like their energy is saying one thing, and then their face and their words are saying another, and we're meant to believe the face and the words. That's what our society, at least, would have us believe and would have us trust, and it's really misleading. And the source of our greatest integrity and healing and fulfillment and self-trust and alignment with our spirit our deepest, truest self, really starts to unfold when we choose to listen to energy first. So on a relationship, like daily conversation kind of level, it would be that when someone's like voice and their words and what they're saying doesn't match their energy, we can respond to their energy. So like giving an example is tough because it's so vague and broad. But for example, they feel really angry. You can like feel in the energy field that they're angry and they're like, no, I'm fine. Like how, that is such a typical example. And so responding with something, and you'd have to then, actually this is great. So there's a level of energy that tells you they're angry, and this is what they're saying with their words, but they're angry. And then there's a deeper listening to energy that tells you what to do about it. And so in that moment, the like deeper listening to energy, so there's the surface level, what's happening, and then underneath that, that deeper listening may invite you to just say, okay, and give them some space to understand what they're even feeling and come back to you. Or it may invite you to say, is there something that you're angry about right now? Or like, who knows? It might even be like, well, actually, I feel like you're pissed off, and I'm pissed off that you're pissed off. Like, I don't know what energy would tell you to do. But the reason that I am so madly in love with and devoted to energy, and why I trust it so much, is in this example that I just randomly came up with, but it's working. We don't know what is the response. Imagine this is someone you actually like and care about, right? And you want to be able to connect with them. We don't know what our response will create inside of them, and we don't know how to create connection. I of myself know nothing, and I don't know what's going on in their psyche and their body beyond what I'm reading in the energy field that would have them have all sorts of like triggers or responses or healing from whatever I say next. We don't know, is basically my point. But spirit or energy does. And so in that kind of situation, as much as possible, and it's like way more challenging with people you're super close with, like my mom or my partner, much more challenging to do this with, right? But in all of those sorts of interactions, my desire and my intention is to get myself out of the way long enough to be able to move beyond my own triggers and the thing that's like inside of me that's just going to create disconnect and separation anyway, and to open and listen to energy. So, and I would do this by praying and saying, so dear Great Spirit, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say in this moment? How can I respond with love? How can I respond with integrity? What do you desire to bring forth through me in this moment? I wouldn't say all of that, I'd just say one of those things, but that's some examples. And then I listen. And so if the energy says, get angry, then I get angry. And if the energy says, be okay, then I be okay. And I will like hold myself to the best of my ability. I will hold my human self who wants to have all sorts of responses, and I will do my best to live what the energy is asking me to live, because I trust it so much, because I know that when I listen to that energy, the greatest healing and connection and fulfillment unfolds for me and for everyone else. It's like, it's already worked out what all of us need, right? And so I don't have to work that out. I don't have to be up in my head trying to figure out the best thing I could possibly say. And like, if I say this, are they going to say this back? No, I just listen to my body and desire to hear what energy would have me do in that next moment. And then I do that, and I do it with complete and total trust, and I do it knowing I'm a human and I can fuck it up sometimes and I could not listen deeply, but I'm still going to choose to listen, however imperfectly, to energy that knows all and loves all and has the best interests of all in its awareness. Way more than I'm going to do like listening to my head, which just tries to protect me and actually never brings me what I desire. So there's this, so I feel like there's this incredible intelligence of the universe that deeply, deeply loves each and every one of us. And anywhere where we don't know that we're loved and we're holding these like defenses and programs over the top of it and masks, it wants to come in whenever we're ready, as soon as we're ready, and gently unlock those things and bring up to the surface this stored emotion and these stories that aren't true, so that it can pour its love into us and so we can know more deeply just how loved we are. And this intelligent, wise, loving force of the universe, I feel as though it has a plan for the collective healing of the world, for a world that puts love first. And I just don't. I couldn't comprehend how we get from where we are today to like a world that understands sensitivity and that honors our spirits as we walk this human mess of a life, which it's meant to be, right? I just don't know what that even looks like. I don't know how to get there. I can't create that world on my own, and yet Spirit has a plan. There is a wise, loving force of the universe that does know how to create a world that puts love first. And I feel like if I can simply choose to put that intelligence of the universe first in as many moments as I can, and I can attempt to put love first myself, then I can individually be a stand for and take a step towards the kind of world that I would love to live in, a world that puts love first. And if we all could then just listen to energy, just listen to this wise, loving force of the universe, but that is also our deepest, truest self, then I can't even imagine the amount of individual and collective healing that's possible, that cannot come from our minds, which actually created this split and this disconnect from nature and each other and spirit. But our deepest, truest selves, our capacity to listen to our deepest, truest selves by listening to energy at a deep level, yeah, that can do anything. So that is what I mean when I talk about listening to energy, and I would so love to hear any questions that you have around it. I'm curious to hear how well I was able to communicate it, and if it leaves you as excited and lit up and hungry for the capacity to really deeply listen to energy that discovering it left me. So my name's Kiara, and yeah, that is what is listening to energy. I look forward to receiving your questions. Sending you so much love.